Bean Fighters, today I wanted to talk about gluten. There are so many people out there that don't know what gluten is, if you should go gluten-free or not based on your health, and I was one of those people. I have always kind of had problems with dairy and gluten, but I didn't really know why. So when we started having me go gluten-free, I felt better, but still didn't know why I felt better, so I wanted to learn a little more about gluten. So these are my notes, and I'm just gonna tell you guys a little bit about what I've read and recommend that you go read for yourself because there's so much out there. So to start, gluten is made of two proteins. It's gliadin and glutenin. And when those two water-soluble proteins are mixed with water, it creates gluten. And gluten is, with these water and chemical bonds coming together, it creates a really elastic chemical bond that is really stretchy and elastic, which can cause people a lot of digestive problems. But if you do use one of these proteins with water, you aren't going to have any trouble with the creation of gluten. So that's something just to keep in mind. So there are 5 major problems that can happen when you have gluten in your system. So first, there's gut inflammation. When you have amylase trypsin inhibitors reacting to the gluten in your body, it can cause a lot of inflammation. And this happens to me constantly. If I eat a piece of bread, I swell up like a pregnant woman, so I totally understand that one. So there is increased gut immunity in here as well. If you have too much gluten in your body, it can actually go into your bloodstream, which can affect a lot of other different parts of your body, including the liver and just your whole digestive tract in general. Too much gluten, or gluten at all really, can cause increased risk of diabetes, fibromyalgia, which is what I have, and thyroid diseases. So that's something really important to keep in mind when you're looking at your own issues and having gluten in your diet. Gluten also affects the friendly bacteria in your body. You know, there's bacteria through your whole digestive system, and people take probiotics, which I do, to make sure that the good bacteria stay and there's not too much excess bad bacteria. But having gluten in your system can increase those bad bacteria. So you definitely want to take a probiotic if you are taking gluten, or just take gluten out entirely. And finally, I found out that brain fog and fatigue can actually be a symptom of gluten or too much gluten in your system. And this can happen to people with celiac disease or people without celiac disease just having a gluten sensitivity in their system. So I recommend talking to your doctor about your gluten intake, and if you have any of these problems already, and see if maybe gluten is the cause. I have already taken gluten out of my diet, like I said before, and I am doing great. It's actually way easier than you'd think. There are a lot of products out there now that are gluten-free. You just have to read the labels and make sure there's not any wheat in it, because sometimes they trick you with that. So, you know, there's pastas, there's pizza dough, and there's plenty of things that you can find and switch out of your diet that taste just the same. My whole family has actually changed their diet, and they have no complaints of having gluten-free pasta or gluten-free pizza crust. It's just as good to them. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you choose to go gluten-free, because there are a lot of vitamins, minerals, and fibers that come from gluten in your body that you are going to need to replace if you choose to take gluten out of your diet. And again, do your own research. There's so much out there I didn't even understand, and just after spending about an hour reading online, I learned a bit. So go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions for me, just put them in the comments below and I'll get to them. And thank you so much for watching. Rest and be blessed. Bye.